This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation.
Lord, as we gather this day, for important business for the people of the village of Owego. Grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding.
Amen.
Thank you, ladies. I thank you for balancing the room. I was going to get nervous.
Her guys over here, we got some dairy made these snacks.
I'm sorry, they're not.
You guys can have some food.
Oh, they're not dairy free either, so.
They're fat free, you get the fat free.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. So our first item, as always, public comment.
Hi, everybody. I guess I'll just go first, just to knock it out of the ballpark. So I was here the last meeting you guys had to talk about the community reforestation grant through DEC. So we talked about what that program was going to look like and what we would need from the village and all that good stuff. And I'm here to provide an update of where we're at with that situation. So I've been working with Laura and Fred to narrow down sites, parcels within the village that would be great for doing some plant reforestation. And we've boiled it down so far to 23 parcels altogether. So that there's parcels on Delphine Street, Fox Street, Gear Street, East Front Street, Temple Street, West Main. I can go through the entire list. Also, I can send it to all of you, so you guys, I'm not sure if it has been distributed yet. So where I'm at with this is that we need to have everything together and given to the Upper Susquehanna Coalition. So there's like 3 different organizations, plus Tioga County Soil and Water working together to get all this information gathered and submitted to the Upper Susquehanna Coalition. They want everything with a ribbon tied up the top, ready to go by the 26th of February. So we have kind of a short go long. So what I'll need from the village is a village endorsement, which there's a template that we have, and I'll send that to you guys once we absolutely finalize the parcels.
Okay.
The parcels, I want to actually, so tomorrow I'm going to be going out and driving around and checking out all the different sites, because some of them might have really large foundations on them that would be hard for planting without doing some sort of demolition. Some of them might still have like septic tanks. Some of them might have just a ton of power line coming across, and I don't think that the power lines will disqualify them, but it just changes the design of the actual planting because Fred is going to be maintaining them. Mm-hmm. So just want to keep the species selection in mind for every site that makes sense for them to be properly maintained. And so trying to get some boots on the ground tomorrow to kind of check everything off the list and make sure everything's all set. There's some other sites. Canawana wants to also jump in on this grant, and since they've been working with the Southern Tier Land Conservancy, some of the sites that are in the nature preserve are now owned by the Southern Tier Land Conservancy. So we have to figure out what they want to do with their parcels. So to gather that all together. And then Laura and I were talking about maybe doing some sort of notification letter to the residences that are in close proximity to the planting sites, just to give them an idea of what we are doing and why we're doing it. And, if they have any questions or concerns, they have somebody to contact and, give them some way so they can feel like they can be in the know about the situation, not just wake up and there's a bunch of trees planted at this green space that they've had, lived next to for the past 30 years. So I'm not sure if we want to do like individual letters to every single resident in that area, or if we want to do like a general notification and then send it to individuals in that community, or whatever the case may be. I'm open to whatever you guys would like to do. Maybe that's something you guys can discuss and kind of narrow down. It's not something we need for the actual grant application. I think it just would be a wonderful thing to provide to the community. So they will have, like, once we get awarded, if we get awarded, yeah, so some sort of supplementation to kind of bring everything together and make sure everyone knows what's going on and is in the know. So that says, so not much has changed, but we've at least narrowed everything down, and have a way forward, and also wanted to kind of give more information about like what those sites would look like. So we're going to be doing a large stock, so 3 to 5 gallon trees. There's a tree guard that's going to be a 5-foot tree guard that's going to go around these trees. Potentially a bull guard. We're still trying to decide, depending on how other project requests turn out. We might have enough still to request for some bull guards that will help the trees thrive. And then also each tree will probably have some sort of support stake, and then I mentioned soil amendments, and then also mulching. So we'll cover mulching, tree guards, maybe bull guard stakes, and the large stock. And also we were thinking potentially of doing some invasive species treatment on the Riverside Street parcels that are on the other side of Canawana that are just covered in Japanese knotweed. So that's something to think about too, because that's going to be like an herbicide treatment, and I'm not sure. And then it'd be typically, I think there's something called rodeo that's used. That's when it's being applied close to the river. And we haven't come up with like a standard operating procedure of how we want the invasive herbicide treatments to look. But recently, there are different methodologies for Japanese knotweed specifically, and it might be an application that happens twice in a like 2-year period, and it's all about timing and proper like chopping and reduction. There's a whole methodology to do it so you can spray it only twice, and then that it should be have like a 98% eradication, which is something that we would a practice we would prefer, because we're obviously not very much so into using herbicide application, but if there's a way that it will actually eradicate the Japanese knotweed and we can plant it back with native species and kind of reclaim that site, it's something we're like willing to balance. So there's 4 parcels on the Riverside Street, and we'll have to like shake out some invasive species stuff, but I'll let you guys know as the things go on. And then there's other sites too. So I'll draft some information together for you guys too about like what I check out of these sites. And it's a great time to go and look at these parcels, because you get to see where pooling water is and where there's just like a big giant ice rink in the middle of the town. So it would be a really good time to go out. So yeah. Did you guys have like any like questions?
I have a couple quick questions.
Sure.
How many trees are you sniffing for us?
Well, it depends on how many sites we're going to be that this list boils down to, but we're going to try to be doing like a 15 by 15 spacing, and all of these are about they range so much in their sizing. I'd say maybe on average it's like a fourth of an acre, and our rating typically for planting is 200 stems per acre. So it could be like maybe 50 stems on a parcel like that. Why is it 25 stems? So it really just depends on the site. But the rate is 200 stems per acre. So however small these sites are, that.
Take that rate divided by the size.
Correct. So it's going to vary per site. So there might be 25 on some, there might be 50, there might be 75.
I was just trying to get a feel of these things are expensive and how many we can have and that kind of thing. Are you also, is it going well with the other co-applicants? How's that playing out? Just a quick version.
Sure, yeah. So with the other soil and water districts, I can't talk for Tioga County, but for Tioga County, for the other districts in the Upper Susquehanna Coalition, I'm not sure, because the entire Upper Susquehanna Coalition is also applying. For properties in Tioga County, there's some movement in the village of Waverly. They're doing some sites. Parantuan Greenway has a hayfield that they're going to use the grant for. And then Waterman's Conservation Center has a really large 20-acre shrub scrub invasive species area that was a fallow land that was in the past a hayfield pasture that turned into fallow land and is all invasive species, which is actually really great for warbler habitat, which is unfortunate, but we're going to have that site reach its full potential, hopefully, and do some invasive species removal, and then do some deer fencing around that area too.
No, I wanted the short version of we were going to do this with a number of other communities. It was going to be $150,000 total. Is that just in this Tioga County thing, or was it bigger than that? How big was it?
So what I originally said is 150,000. 150,000 is the minimum. I believe the maximum for the entire project is $3 million. So that means all of USD. So
All of what?
All of the Upper Susquehanna Coalition is gathering projects together so they can, be within that window of the 150,000 to 3 million.
Rusty, I don't know if you did a lot of planting over at the hickories.
Yes.
Some of that area, can you kind of explain that? Have you seen the hickories?
That wasn't what I was interested in.
Okay.
I
Did I
was
answer
interested
your
in-
question correctly?
What's
or
that?
Did I answer your question?
Not really, but what I
Can you
was
ask it
interested
again?
in was this has got to be done by the 26th. So is everybody else in line? Is it all? You're asking us to jump in here and be ready because it's now. Is everybody else you're trying to get in already or?
So
pretty close?
everyone's working together, scrambling around to get stuff together.
Okay.
So it's not an only situation just to us. It's like kind of everybody is in that same boat.
And then the other thing was I just wanted to know, as we're putting together all these sites, if we have a number of, I don't know how expensive these things are, or whatever it is, or how that works out. If we have a number that we can ask for or have, that was my thing about how many trees we were going to have. But I get that.
But we're not quite sure exactly how many species we're going to be requesting specifically for the village of Owego at this moment in time. But if you're looking for a general price point for a one large stock tree, is that kind of
Sure. Oh yeah. What's a tree cost?
So it's between $35 and $40.
So if we want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we can have them, we do want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty much what I wanted to.
Of course.
So complicated.
No, of course. I thank you for asking the questions so I can actually answer them for you.
I'd like to, so the purpose of timing, we could motion to have, approve the mayor to sign a letter of support after you've sent the template.
Mm-hmm.
We could approve, that we would intend to.
Yeah, I can't remember if we did that last time.
I would think it would be more than just a letter of support. It would be some obligation that we have to do this.
Or whatever.
So
Not
that we,
necessarily like the grant application, or whatever we have to do.
yeah, that we're supportive of the core reforestation grant and that we would like to have trees and invasive species management on our village properties, or just something that's gonna say.
Yeah, I think you guys could a motion to
So-
support it.
Our last motion last time's, made by Rusty, thank you, Laura, to support Tioga County Soil and Water applying for a $150,000 grant for planting trees and removal of invasive species of plants that are on village-owned property at no cost to the village. DPW superintendent to make decision on what areas will be done. So I don't know.
But we did want him to come back and tell us that before.
I don't know if we need many more motions, or, we can make one.
It would be great, for at least the template, when I fill out it, because in that template, it requires all the parcels that have been selected. So that's kind of held me up on being able to provide that to you guys today, because we're still trying to flush that out. So hopefully we'll have that done. But I'm not sure if you guys want all individually wanted to sign it. I wouldn't mind sending it or finding you guys so you guys could each of you to sign it, or if you just wanted to sign it, Michael, I mean, it's
Probably easiest if I just sign it, just with logistics of getting it back to you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that would make it a little.
So we still don't know exactly what they are then? Or we do?
Correct.
Yeah, there is a general list that came through, right?
To what?
There's a general like species selection list, and that's just what it is a combination of like what we provide through our Trees for Tributaries programs. They're all native species to New York, and then
I'm less concerned about what things are gonna go in as to where they're gonna go. That's the thing we're talking about.
Which in our last motion, we said that Fred was going to determine that.
But it was supposed to, I mean, it was supposed to come back to us too. We were supposed to hear, so we could chime in before the final thing.
Right.
yes.
So we don't, do you have the list of parcels?
I have a list of parcels here, that I can, talk to you guys about if you guys, but I don't have like a presentation like to show you each and every single one. But what I'd be happy to do is be able to like get that final list of parcels all together, get pictures, images, and then provide that information to you guys. Is that something that I could provide to you through email, or is that something?
We don't need it.
That's like, this is our last
Before the 20
meeting,
Mhm.
but 26 is next Wednesday, so. So for us to like officially say, yes, we're gonna do this, it would have to be like right now.
Right, okay. When is your next meeting?
March.
So March 3rd.
March 3rd. Okay. I think we'll be able to shake that out, because the actual application is deadline due by the 15th. But that we're Susquehanna Coalition wants everything by a certain time frame.
Oh, okay.
And if this means that we'll get the village endorsement of the site, then that's fine. I think we'll be able to shake that out so we can make it happen for you guys.
I thought you had to send it in.
Yeah.
Yes, so they want everything by the 26th, but if there's something where we're having a hang up on a parcel situation where we're trying to get everything together, it's pretty simple if we just plug in the municipal endorsement as an amendment to the grant.
Okay.
But you guys will still meet, so you'll still want to approve the parcel altogether.
And this is what I saw from Cal. So this is like some ideas.
Yes.
So I just sent that to
So,
everyone.
is there cemetery stuff in it?
Oh, okay. Fair enough. And I have this list too, I can send to, I sent this to Laura, but I can send it to all of you.
Right, so, I guess basically like we'll need.
Right. Okay, yes,
Herbs is a big
Yeah.
deal.
yes. And so I'm happy to provide all of these things to you guys.
Did she say that, or we just didn't do it? No, I was just asking about places that we're gonna do this, and I was asking if verbs were gonna be in this, and she said that this grant's not.
They are not.
Okay.
So this grant is specifically geared towards reforestation, and so,
Yeah, we don't want that to work.
yeah, so when I brought up street trees after the fact, just to like verify if that was something that was covered, that was the answer that I got. But this is specific to creating canopy in spaces that don't already have canopy, and it's more so geared towards reforestation than it is street trees. But we are
Like dense trees.
Yeah, we are hoping to still have access to large stock funding. We don't have anything right at this moment because the other programs that we were using before to provide larger stock have expired. So we're looking to currently applying for some more larger stock potentials, and that would cover urban street trees and things like that. So different sites like Marvin Park, like around the pool that Laura brought up.
You don't want trees around the pool.
You don't want trees around.
No, we do not.
Okay.
Fred doesn't, because he has to clean the pool.
Oh.
But maybe the skateboard park, because they were slamming to get really warm.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be
You know,
possibility.
So this is fine, I'm happy to hear this, because one of my thoughts about us not knowing where they are would be, if we were gonna do the berms, there's lots of different streets, there'd be lots of different opinions about, how many we have, that's why I was asking how many we have,
Oh, of
and
course.
where they're gonna go. If that's not part of it, I'm less concerned about us having to have more input on it.
Right.
So, yeah, these
And it's not
are,
the cemetery.
Yep, so we've already, yeah, some of the things that we might have thought
Some
aren't
things
gonna
we
be there,
think might
so.
be a little
Right.
issue.
So that makes it easier for us to
Sure.
not be worrying about where.
Yep, and so for, the cemetery one we've been doing, because there might be some other water mitigation potentials
Right.
up there, and then maybe the only thing that can be done there is planting, but we'll visit that later. And then there's Livingston Park too, which would be a great site. But that, it might be a part of a larger scale, like stream restoration project. So we don't want to plant ahead of construction for that.
That makes sense.
If that's something that we end up pursuing and being able to find grant funding for.
Plant stuff and have to tear it out and then put it back.
Yeah, and then, so we want to avoid that. So those two sites, I think, they're excellent sites, but there's some things that are in the works for those. But I can list the sites off for you guys if you guys can imagine.
I don't
them.
need it now.
Yeah, you see.
Rusty's got
yeah.
this.
Okay.
The list of the 23 sites.
Yeah.
Barn-
Oh,
barns
the,
of
did you, the Excel that I sent you? Okay. So Kevin had some sites, and then
Right.
Fred
Made it
sent me
bigger.
sites,
Oh, good.
and then Laura sent me sites too, and I took the sites from Fred and Laura's and did like a basic,
Okay.
go through, I'm looking at, I like aerial image all of these and check them out, and got their correct parcel numbers and that, figured out from there through our different softwares for aerial imagery and boil it down to this list. So sites that Fred can maintain and sites that you guys are okay with, having reforested.
Thanks very much. So you've seen this before, the sites?
Yes, you have.
You've seen
Yeah.
it? And you've seen the sites?
She just showed me.
You guys good with them?
Mhm.
Let's make a motion to accept the sites and have them go forward. Yes, no? Sure.
Thank you much.
I second whatever you just said.
Yes, okay, there you go.
You know, the motion is to approve
Approve the sites and applying.
the sites and going out for the grant.
And let me sign everything.
And the mayor will sign it. You know, it's
Get
right,
third
it's right.
emotions.
And I'm happy to provide the like Excel list, to everybody, because some of the sites I also might, redact if it seems that it's,
Right, you have to go look at it and say, no.
Right, it's a real good issue,
Right.
if you suddenly realize that there's asphalt underneath something,
Yeah.
it does happen. There's people who paved their yard.
So in that motion, we're giving her authority to reject some of these sites
As needed.
as per cause. Yeah. That was part of the motion.
Thank you guys.
I read it.
Oh, you already second.
Before we
Okay.
even made it.
Charles wants some trees here, just not next to the pool.
Not
not next to
I need the leaves of, then trust it to get them.
Yes, I got it.
Fair enough.
All right, should we vote on this thing? Rusty,
Yes.
Laura?
Yeah.
Terry?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And yes.
Very excellent, thank you guys,
Get with me and we will sign everything and get it sent in.
will do,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll keep you guys updated as things go on too.
We're still in public comment.
Yeah, I just have questions about the trees.
Sure.
So they're all native trees,
Yes, ma'am.
and are you doing any understory plantings as well, or is it just?
So we're looking to do mostly large trees as opposed to reforesting, like re-establishing an understory. Because and for this grant specifically, it's looking for a like canopy coverage and turning green spaces into more shaded areas. So there is, higher like health benefit for the community members, and also a lot of habitat as well. So there's something we could look to in the future too, to do more shrubs and more understory. But the idea is that these spaces will be open to the public, and so they can have access to the site. And it might be a little difficult to be able to utilize the site if we initially inundate it with shrub species. So it's something that we can definitely look to in the future. But to get the trees established, there's a mowing period that is 3 to 4 years of mowing twice to 3 times per year. And that helps significantly with the survival rate of the trees. And so if we have a understory that's also planted in that site, it's going to make it a little bit, it's going to make it more difficult for us to maintain it and get those trees to start to
I
grow.
wasn't talking about shrubbery, I was talking about understory trees, things like pawpaws and service berries and things like that.
Right, so shrubs are a part of the understory too, but there are species that we'll probably be selecting that are smaller trees, especially for sites that have, lots of power lines crossing through them. So that would include redbud, that would include serviceberry. Pawpaws are also on the list too, but a lot of the tree species that are going to be selected for each site may be different because of the soil type that is present at the site. So it really depends on the historical, ecological soil type, and then it also depends on the logistical design of that specific. To also reflect what's existing in Tioga County as of now.
Did you have anything for us?
Very stringent snow.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
very stringent.
Alright.
But,
So we'll move on here, so department head reports, so you notice no department heads here.
Right.
All at the first meeting of every month. And then as we need them, they will come to this meeting. So,
I do have something for the fire department.
perfect. So yes, if you guys have anything from the department heads that needs stuff to be done, we'll do it.
So, Chief had, Eric has asked me to, announce that Colden Miller, who resides at 112 Fox Street here in Owego, that's the house right next to the one that had the fire on Fox Street. He's 17 years old, he's attending the Owego Free Academy, he wants to be joining as a junior firefighter. His mother has signed the application, and he also provided working papers.
Charles, did the fire board?
They
take this
did,
up?
they did,
They
that's
voted
why
it-
he's
they
asked me
voted it
to
in?
present this, because he couldn't get it on the agenda.
Didn't bring that
No,
paperwork.
just wanted to make sure that if he gets one through, you'll get the paperwork and all that stuff, but I personally know the kid.
Could you spell his name?
Colden, Kolden, last name Miller,
L-A-D-E.
Kolden.
What's that?
Last name is Miller, 17 years old. Goes to Owego Free Academy. Junior firefighter.
Do we need
Oh, yeah,
the,
which company?
Right.
Company number 4.
do we need a certificate to do this, or can we just do this orally?
I think we can-
They didn't give us any certificates, so they never tell us in advance.
Yeah, he'll provide that. He just wasn't able to.
So are you moving to?
Yes, I'm moving to, I'll make the motion that we accept this
Junior fire.
young man.
Second.
And that's in company number 4.
Number 4.
Okay. Any other discussion on Colden? Thank him for wanting to volunteer. Eric?
Yes.
Got it?
Yep.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes.
So it's written, so it shall be done.
Anything else with the fire department?
That's it.
Got the ladder truck back.
Yeah.
Great cost management.
Yeah.
I just want to say one quick thing about.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Ken Easton's, funeral will be this Saturday. Also, sorry,
Calling hours.
calling hours, you have the calling hours? You might have to, lost my.
Saturday.
Friday. Sorry. Friday's 4 to 7.
I don't remember what time Saturday.
All right, Friday, February 21st, the honor guard, will be at SD Monroe Fahey, home at 3:30. They need to show up at 3:30, the honor guard, in their Class A uniforms. Members, they want the members to be there at 3:45. We'll get all the members through so that everybody else, can cycle through, come through. They have the Punishers Motorcycle Club that will be doing the honor guard with them. Goal is to keep the cycle of every 10 minutes to change of the guard. Everybody that's been to a funeral, honor funeral, knows that. 841 will be set up in the parking lot, draping the American flag over the parking lot of the funeral home. On Saturday, we want the lineup of fire department apparatus to line up in the parking lot. That's for fire department stuff. But time is time of the funeral. You'll get that time. West Corners Fire Department will be covering for our district. So thanks to them on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that we could all attend. Kenny's done a lot for this community and he will be very much missed.
Charles, is there something there about, something at Station 1 after the funeral?
I don't see anything.
There's supposed to be something, I don't remember.
Funeral services at 11 on Saturday. But I don't know what time they want it to line up.
At the funeral, well, we have the trucks line up, 10:30.
Okay. Funeral's 11.
Yeah.
And then just 4 to 7 on Friday. You're good there.
Okay. There we have it. And that's all I have.
Funerals at, Fahey's.
Yes.
Well, that's gonna be interesting.
It is. Funeral being at the.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the number of people.
Shut down, they'll get on the numbers.
I think it's trying to get a lot of people like that. That's not that big of a deal.
Traffic.
The last big one is, that big, church on Main Street. Build it upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
That's theirs.
Yeah.
Because it's just very specific.
Have we thought about traffic and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's usually
Like
our
I said
part.
earlier,
Something like
each
this.
site and check things out.
Yeah, once again, how busy that'll be on both days, parking, traffic. That's why I was asking if there was gonna be something. There was supposed to be something at Station 1.
We actually have really good soil.
Something said about,
Heard something.
something said about having something.
Yeah,
on the street.
yeah.
It's not having it happen. Fire department decided to have something at Station 1, but I don't know.
I haven't heard of that.
Well, we can't tell them.
Yeah, yeah.
I did want, are we kind of off that now?
Yeah.
It's a suggestion from before, for us on the village board. A lot of times, we end up spending time and asking a lot of questions to our different department heads here that might be better served offline. Things that just really aren't meeting appropriate. So now that they're only gonna be here once a month, when you have things they want to know from them, then tell us, get a hold of them offline to do all these things. Because they say we talk about way too many things that we don't need to talk about. Not that we don't hide it, we just don't.
Right.
Police, you want to do that now?
That's really
Yes.
cool.
So
I
we,
love the flowers, they smell so yeasty and yummy.
of course, assume that there isn't, the cops trains continue, well, they're in the middle, so that's hard, but it doesn't matter. We still have 2 cops trains to fill, we continue to try and fill them, we've had officers take them and leave, and so,
Which is so awesome.
Yes, we have 2 openings for cops.
we still have 2 openings, and there's one gentleman that the
Yes.
chief has
That one, but they have some. so I-
vetted through the various things, all the tests, all the backgrounds, all psychological, all been done. The personnel committee has met with this gentleman and interviewed him and recommends that we hire him. His name is Alexander Geisdorfer. Right, I'm gonna have this, I'll have it written down so you can see it. Geistdorfer.
Like a lot of space.
Say it, oh.
Which is actually pretty awesome.
Um,
Things I probably missed the most.
Anyways, this gentleman was a construction worker at this time, he's self-employed, he's married, 30 years old, has one child, that this is not stuff that necessarily, that's what I'm just giving you a quick rundown. And the next police academy starts the 24th of March, lasts around 6 months. We would,
They are, so that's.
if we hire him, he will
Like migration of. like,
go to that police academy, we of course pay for the academy.
More southern
Um,
spaces up this way.
One of the things that we did talk with this gentleman about is, we had problem with people coming and going, and this gentleman, wants to be here.
Yes.
He doesn't want to be here for 6 months or not, he wants to be here. And we, so,
Yeah, we don't have anything like in the contract to make them.
we can't make him, but he's, as much as you can do, he is verbally committed to be here.
Oh, that's so exciting.
And for, not for 10 minutes. Does anybody have any questions about this gentleman? Oh, he lives out of the village, on,
Oh, fun.
don't tell people where he lives, but
Right.
someplace,
Yeah, we should.
someplace. Lindbergh Valley, I think, gotten here.
Oh,
Close enough.
very cool.
We don't tell people
Wow.
where it's at. Any questions?
I know he's been interviewed by the personnel committee, and I know I talked to Joe today, so he passed all the
That's amazing.
police
Yep, that's the thing you got.
whatever, he got background checks and all that kind of stuff, so. And he would be making, right, he's a full-time guy through the cops grant.
Yep.
So he would be making the union,
Wow, that's
you know,
amazing.
first year, wage, whatever that is.
How old are
We'll,
We don't have to set
we have to have that
salaries or
motion,
figure it out.
but in the motion that we'll take it out of the contract. Salary. We used to have a $36,000, academy rate, we no longer have that, the opening rate is 48 or 50 or something like that.
Technically, the contract's not signed yet, but it will be very soon, I think. It's ready.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he'll be retired. When it's signed. But that's the plan.
But anyway, it'll be off the.
It'll be whatever the contract rate is. Okay, so I move that we hire,
Effective,
oh, yes, I'll tell you what that is. He will, the effective date will be the 3rd of March. The hire date will be, the academy starts the 24th, and so I haven't made a motion yet, this is not motion stuff. Joe likes to have what he calls a pinning ceremony. So he would like us at our next meeting, if we could come a few minutes early, doesn't have to be in the meeting, but it would be here in front of the board, and this gentleman's family will come, and he'll be, that uniform, he'll be, they probably did. They've done that before. So we would like
Good
to,
to know
that will be in the motion.
It's
We'd like
also on March 3rd.
Keeping the Japanese knowledge.
No, well, Joe said the thing, 17th.
he told me the next meeting like, after. So we better figure out what day it is. Well, one of
We're gonna, but that's casual.
Right.
We'll show up, it won't be the official meeting.
Right.
We'll show up 15 minutes, half an hour ahead of time and do that. The 3rd or the 17th, just for information.
We'll figure out what.
That's typically where they grow naturally, is where along the streams and riverbanks, so that's really cool to know.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that motion, you got his name?
Yeah.
Or you get it?
Is it Dorfer?
Yeah.
So are we good on, so, I move that we hire
This was like
Alexander
5 years ago.
Dorfer, Dorfer or Doffer, whichever way it's spelled.
I just knew.
Uh, Full-time police officer academy, contract rate, starting date, 3rd of March. And send it, should we say academy in this motion also?
I don't think we're
Send him academy on the 24th.
We got a second for that?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so we have the.
So this will be good. So he's covered under the cops grant as long as we have the cops grant.
Oh, yes.
And as far as we know, it's not on pause or anything. We haven't gotten anything. And we just did a drawdown like a couple weeks ago.
We actually got it?
Yep.
Hallelujah.
I think it's still working. But anyway, let's vote on this guy. Hiram, Terry.
Yes.
Gar. Rusty.
Yes.
Laura.
I don't know, just because I didn't get a chance to look ahead of time.
You know, I said,
Yeah.
I've seen photos online of them, but not.
That's like,
Oh, they're so
Okay.
gorgeous.
So
no, that's fine.
Other than that, I don't have anything else from the, I got to talk to Joe today and say anything else.
Other one
No.
on that street.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else have any other department head stuff? Communications, I got
Yeah,
nothing.
the pipeline is.
Old business,
It's black.
I just leave this on here so we don't forget about it. But the traffic light, we're supposed to be working on that, and Jake Creek.
But we do have them here.
Any update on either of those from the traffic committee?
No update.
Next month, next meeting.
Okay.
Gotta get a little warmer so we can go out there.
Oh, yeah, it's a little chilly. Icy.
I did want to add those 2 things onto the new business, that I sent an email about yesterday, the arts committee and the grant.
So the art committee thing, I'm from talking to people, I don't know if we're ready for that yet.
So
Okay.
technically,
We can wait.
DEC considers
grant thing
locust as, well, black locust.
we can
specifically
do, is
as
that
like a noxious
gonna
tree.
keep going though?
So
The honey locust,
we
I'm
could,
not sure if it's on the species list, maybe. I have to double
we
check.
can try
So
submitting
one
it,
for street
hoping.
tree.
Right.
The ones that are, yeah,
What we could do is,
they're great trees.
we could approve trying tonight, and then just see if
just
the
'cause
portal remains open
They're formed,
for us
they're
to submit, and if
and
the
they're,
portal
they
is
don't
open,
self-coppice,
if we
and they
submit,
also,
you know,
or
and
self-prune.
programs,
And you can get
you know,
types
are
that
chosen
are
by the
formed
federal
that
government
also
to
don't create pods,
proceed,
and those are probably the
then we could do it.
the best variety for
Otherwise,
urban forestation. Because there's
there'd be
not
nothing.
litter that has to be cleaned up from them, they're not thorny, so like the kids touch them, but they
But we
use
have
like
all the-
varieties that are more suited.
We've got all the
The
stuff
street-
ready.
The street trees are different from, what we're hoping to
Okay,
plant,
so
in
the only thing that
sites.
I necessarily didn't like about the motion
The pine locust
Yeah.
is on there, but.
was that it just basically says that we commit to pay any sort of cost, it doesn't say what they are, which we know they're 10%, but should we put that somewhere?
So we could add numbers.
We have a copy of the motion.
Yeah. It's right here, but it should have been here.
I'll look at my stuff.
So for numbers, so what we're talking about right now is the brick building code plus up grant.
Right.
So, it's a 3-year grant. What we would propose is five task items. The first is a comprehensive review of our laws. The second is salary for a person to hire employees. That would be working in code, CFM. The third is software. Fourth is training, and the fifth is for outreach and education. The total grant, the total project cost is $325,052.12. What the local match that we would be coming up with
No.
is $30,967.44. And of that, our in-kind match is the work that we're already performing in the offices that we get credit for. Our in-kind match is $17,150.67 worth of their work. And our cash match that the village would be giving is $13,806.77. Divided over 3 years,
And then
we
what we also do
would,
too.
we would be getting, if we won, everything for our cash year match, $4,602.26 a year. So for,
Smaller trees.
or,
That one's not native, but I do have a native,
if there was no in-kind, yeah, so, yeah, so yeah.
10,000 a year if we don't have any income.
Right.
I have,
Or less if we can do in kind and knock it down.
So,
It's still pretty good deal when we get a person.
yeah, this is,
Right.
well, a wonderful deal to be able to hire a person
If it,
and only have to pay, if it's, you know,
if it goes
under
through.
5,000
because
a
of
year.
FEMA thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have to revisit that.
I mean, we would pay that just for software.
But it doesn't hurt to apply either.
Because if we don't lose any money for that,
Right.
and then hopefully
If we get awarded,
$5,000 a year, we could get a person. If not, then it's the application. Yeah, unfortunately.
so the resolution is to apply for the grant for that specific thing and go through it.
I wrote up this resolution so we can change it.
Oh,
Say
yeah,
anything you
like
want, like it's fine to,
I mean, I'm fine with that. It doesn't really give a number, it just says it covers the cost.
You like that kind of.
Right.
Why don't we stay?
It's amazing.
One second.
That was for 2022.
But, I mean, this is really just for the grant submission. So if we do get the grant, obviously we'll come back here to get accepted, all that kind of stuff. We'll have all the
They
details.
will take a few years to do.
So I guess this is okay, based on it.
But they gotta put it on. It's amazing.
This is.
So we're lawyerless. He looked at this and was okay with it.
I can take this out.
Yeah.
It's on
Yeah,
trees, but it's.
the tasks
It
are.
would be great to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll just put it on.
And,
That's on
that
the side
particular person they could
versus-
hire could do the in-kind work, she would have to.
Oh, okay.
Because that would be considered double dipping.
Right.
So there'd be a little bit of making sure it works. I kind of thought, and I explored it too, is if
Oh,
we get somebody match in there, plus some in-kind work, I think it looks like you have more skin in the game.
Yeah.
Since you're doing that.
That's
I'm good even if
painter
it's-
tree, right?
I don't know.
Because we know you can get more.
It turns.
Anywhere else, I know. Come on, Phil. Are you those next?
If it is, it's a rare one, yeah.
Shape it.
Wow, that's
When does this have to be in?
Those are one that
Soon.
cheeses,
I
those are
think
the
the 24th is the middle.
Yeah, February, right?
Yep,
Wow.
yeah.
It's yeah.
So the process is that we
Next week.
submit this in the FEMA Go, and we submit it to the state. The state will review it and decide whether or not they want to support us, in a package.
Previously, I included that in some of our
Then-
plans, and just didn't do
And
that.
that they will decide
And,
by
so
two
it's
days,
kind of
like
like veered away from
April
using them.
something.
And
And that's
like
when they would
buffer
submit.
restoration.
So there's like all this time that we just wait for the process to go through.
Can't try it.
And we probably
I'm
won't hear.
really interested in the
We wouldn't expect to hear for like a full year.
a Lilo happy or Lily?
I always say Abby, but it's Leo.
Or probably even next budget, to be honest.
These are
Budget
the
after, probably.
Yes. Our video who's, it's white.
Pretty big, the resolution is pretty big.
It'll grow up.
It is, but it's just the application.
They're super
So to actually say yes to it, we'll have to have more
That's a
detail.
female. She's
I'm okay with it just being the application.
But the
What's the
females are
cost
so
of that?
big that they just.
Authorizes expenditure of funds necessary.
Well, I mean,
Request
do that type
for
of
the
work.
implementing tasks.
That's like that, so she crawled up.
I don't know.
We could add something that says what the estimated price is of the grant.
They're bigger than the minimums.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they're big as hell.
We're also hoping maybe to do.
I'm fine.
Is that something that they show to
You
the,
know what the weirdest thing I
They,
found?
yeah, he's coming back on the camera. But,
yeah, that's
I
nice,
sent it
that
to
shows
him.
to the, okay.
We were.
I sent it to him, I didn't hear
Now he's
anything
letting
back
me in.
from him.
Must have, she's not texting me.
There's morels, but
Not
there's one
Usually
behind.
it's text me.
Chanterelles.
Like I said,
I haven't
We
found
talked
any
about it,
good
Mike.
there, but yeah,
It says that's,
Yeah, I mean, it's just applying for the
Yeah,
grant. Obviously, if we win the grant, then we'll have to accept the
Yeah.
terms of it. when we
Yeah.
Get it.
and trumpets. I love trumpets.
But
so that's the same
chanterelles are
thing
everywhere.
with almost all the grants.
it's the.
We're not really obligated.
Yeah, so.
Essentially, we're obligated
I
to let
was
you money, but
always
we're not
told
doing that.
Right, not until we get it.
Okay.
They have to show in a resolution or the commitment that you would.
Right.
Oh, here's
If
it.
we got it,
If we got it.
good faith,
This
we
was
would
the
do
name.
it.
So
We have to say that resolution, but we still have to do it.
You still could back out at the last,
Sweet Bay
you don't want the best, but you can.
No,
That's a really nice one.
yeah, somebody returned it. They had it for the-
But as we see, the commitment isn't all that much, it's like 30,000
Yeah.
for 2 years.
So,
It was on site.
Well, once again,
yeah, well,
It's
it's
a work.
Once again.
First move.
tell you what it says.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't
And
really
then I
give a
got this
number.
job, so.
Yeah, I didn't
Made
put
the
numbers
job,
in it.
which I was really sad about.
This
but-
grant does have 5% grant management
gardens.
in it, so we're, yeah, so like,
Look, that's the
it
nail.
covers that part,
That's the nail.
which is worth like,
I don't know.
it's like
That's-
15 or,
I would have to.
it's like 13 or 15,000 dollars worth we're getting just for doing the grant.
Well, that could be some of the kind
Oh, and then I have these two.
Also, that in-kind stuff.
so we gotta do that anyway, either way, no matter what we do.
So the
Oh, yeah,
in-kind
they're
work
all
came
over.
from
It's just you don't
Vic
get
and
those.
Meg, who were
See,
both
that's
in
what
on the
they want
conversation.
this up.
So they said how many hours they thought they were going to be working, so based off of that. So it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes a week for one person to work on this.
Yeah, yeah, right away.
And
First
they're
year,
already
everything
doing-
money, or they.
Ideally, it's stuff we're already doing, and we can claim credit.
Yeah. And the work, we would benefit from them doing this work.
Those are the giant swallow tails.
If we have the software, they're gonna be able to do stuff
If they're
faster, you know, and with training, and so like, you know, everything would get better if we had different.
Try to figure.
But these are the same.
Yeah.
buckets.
I'm fine with it, because it's just
As soon as
flying
you
through it and see what happens.
If our gang is already putting in these hours, we can use that they're already doing now as the kind of, that's fine. We have to find hundreds more hours, that's not fine.
Right.
Because
Agreed.
they can't put hundreds more hours into this stuff.
That's where the 10 grand might come in.
Mitigation.
4 grand.
Oh, yes. She has come.
Do, I mean,
She has come.
would you feel better if we put a number in there, like with a match up to $40,000?
She's a nice lady.
Well, our local match would
would be over 31,000. So,
But yeah,
like, yeah, if we say our local match is like 31,000, up to 31,000, that would cover it and not have to claim how much is exactly in kind or cash.
yeah.
However,
That's the deal. So,
we've got
yeah,
it
he
in
wants
the
to go back to
budget
government.
that's getting submitted.
Yeah.
Exactly how much.
I would break it down.
So,
Yeah.
my opinion about that is, I always like numbers, I always like limits. The reason for this resolution is because we have to have it to send in with the thing, then I don't want to put that in this resolution. I want it to be vague, not saying.
It's not true, because we don't want them to think that we're.
Whatever, yeah, we're ready to do it. Oh, yeah, we're ready to pay our share, we're ready to do it. So if it's for them, I would
We need
think
something
we
that
wouldn't want that.
they would go.
We will have to send more. Most likely, most grants require you to send something.
Even though it doesn't list the number on the resolution, it does in all the stuff that we submitted in the package, and, so it's like,
Yeah.
like there's not really wiggle room in the stuff, because we optimize the work hours because we don't have money to go around, so we try to get the least amount possible of cash. And that, 4,600 a year is not bad,
So this was
from us.
So that's.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
No problem, are you ready for this?
So I just did the.
Good, because in the middle of the vote, you don't explain your vote. You explain your vote before or after. I will be abstaining from this because I'm not ready in the same spirit that you were ready for the police officer.
No, that's true.
Because you haven't seen anything, I'm not ready for it. So I will be abstaining in the vote, but there are 4 votes for it.
So I'll motion, or Terry, would you
Sort of,
like?
sort of.
I would motion to accept applying for this grant. What is it? Okay.
I would just say, pass the resolution as presented.
Pass the resolution as presented.
I'll second.
Any other talk about it? Terry?
Yes.
Rusty?
I don't know why it's like
Yes.
not coming
And
in
yes.
my
Oh,
soon.
it's because of the, it's because of.
And then, yeah, we'll come back to the.
People want to ask us
We'll
about.
talk to James about that.
What is the oxblood?
Does that mean we're not gonna do it?
So people tend to like.
Because we did talk about that.
They don't really see the.
Yeah, we talked about that, since we're not. I know you wanted some kind of a thing tonight, we're not ready, we're having a meeting,
Right.
Wednesday, we're not ready.
Okay,
They didn't want us to.
we'll wait till after that. I don't see any issue not doing it tonight,
Is
do
the,
it next, in 2 weeks.
it's the
We can
fastest
have
road
it.
in Jacksonville.
2025 village election update. We got
We have one, bring in a petition.
That's fast. Yeah, I think for that, yeah.
Trustee Laura and Brian help. Possibility for.
This is, Blaine's.
We're the only ones that are gonna be on the ballot,
Right.
right?
Neighbor.
Those out votes.
And that's
March
18th.
Good night. Right here.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made for us.
Has been for the last 3 years. Election ladies like it a lot better here. Yes.
Let's go to. Stuff right across the floor.
Break room.
Yeah. The bookkeeping contract. So, we have I don't know how long I spoke about this, but we had a proposal from an independent contractor to do our bookkeeping. So they put together this contract for us, which is $23,400 a year. Which is considerably less than we did in January. To do all this kind of stuff, so you think of it like as a retainer, like the same as name, right? This is their retainer stuff, which is all of our normal stuff. And then there's some catching up they gotta do, which they're behind. So we catch up, $75 an hour or whatever they spend, they catch us up.
This is the stuff we got for years, ever since we got rid of our bookkeeper.
Yeah, it's,
This is try to get some data on
This is the template from, this is the template from my short.
Yeah, that's a country.
It makes it look good.
We've seen it, have no trouble with that.
Do you know about like what other companies do this and their prices? Or, you know, like what?
So they're hard to find.
Yeah, it's almost impossible getting, they do a couple other buildings besides. But actually, find bookkeeping companies, even the state guy said, very, very hard to find.
Yeah, so this is
Originally Jan was gonna help us with that, like, really, like 2 or 3 years ago. She was gonna hand it off to somebody, she almost did, and then that company changed hands, and the people left, and kind of went down the tube. That's kind of how this whole thing is.
I was talking to the auditors and I can see how important it is that you get a bookkeeper.
So these guys will, they don't necessarily use Springbok, but they have committed to learn it and log in from where they're at. So it's all cloud-based now, so they can help with everything. And they know the bookkeeping side, so they don't have to use that.
We're located in Montreal, and they can come here if they have.
So they would normally not be here doing this.
Correct, they'd be remote. Unless they have, I mean, they're willing to come here if they need to. See something.
Do they have an idea on how many additional hours they may still need?
I don't think they'll get into that until whatever we gotta do.
You're talking about additional hours for audit or what?
Under the special project, so.
Or the things that haven't been caught up with.
So the end of the story is we're behind on these annual reports, 2022 to 2024.
But I think 22 is just in, and she just did that. Right?
So it might just be 2 years.
Just 23, and then now we.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Rodney, how many years has Jan done the back audits now? How many, a couple of years ago, we were behind, how many years did she do?
She's been doing them for 5, 6 years.
She's been doing it since,
She's been here.
because she was a year or 2 before me.
But what I wanna know is, I don't care about how many years she worked for us, but how many years of audits has she done?
She's up to 20.
21 or 22. And how far, where did she start? Where were we when she started on the audits?
Yeah, no, I remember.
You were a couple of years back.
Yeah, we've always been behind you.
I'm trying to get this a little more specific. Has she done 2 years of audits, 5 years of audits? How many years of audits has she done?
Yeah.
Well, then she didn't just work a couple of years and 5 of them. Yeah. We're that many behind, she caught us up 5.
Right, but what she does is not with these people.
But we're still, like, so Jan just does the end of the year report. These people will help us through the year, keep the books correct.
So it'll be easier to do the audit because it'll be all right.
So they're not gonna do the audits.
Well, they're not really audits, these are end of the year reports.
They're gonna assist with the.
So,
And actually, Jan, we should be hiring another person on top of that.
That's really cool.
That would be something.
so usually, so the way it works, which we already know about, is auditors give you. But every year, we're supposed to get an independent
Oh,
audit
nice.
of somebody else, come in and check our bookkeeping.
Is that
And Jan wasn't that with both these last years, or was she?
Can't audit your own work.
So what they want you to do, once you get all this stuff done, then they want you to get another.
We hire another person.
We used to have the guys out of business. But then they switched to somewhere.
Insero.
Okay, so these guys aren't taking any of Jan's stuff, this is other stuff.
No, but we want to, Jan will be phased out.
General.
We won't be having.
So they will do everything she's doing plus more.
Jan can help catch up, and then she wants to.
Okay, so the next question I have is, so Jan's worked for us for X number of years, how much did you end up paying her? Now, is this something that's proprietary?
No, we can take it up.
Probably run 25,000.
Oh, yeah, no, we budget 50 a year for granted.
And you think we paid her 50 a year?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if they're gonna do the stuff she does.
This is a better, this is gonna get, you're gonna get a better all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comfortable people will get happier.
This is what they're gonna want us to do.
That's gonna come out of it.
So that's here.
Okay, they'll be happy if we do this for sure.
That's the number one thing they'd like us to do is
Yeah, well, that's what,
or hire
service.
companies to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
so like I said, we, a lot of, it's not really thought that we had to, she was gonna pay this thing. And she
Yeah.
almost did a couple times, but then fell through. The problem with January, once it gets to January, she forgets about it.
She gets real busy doing
She
taxes.
forgets about us for 6 months and catches up, that's why everything, you know, I mean, we're not like on the top.
Are a number of these things that they're gonna do, things that the rest of our office staff doesn't know?
Not really. Like they attempt to do it, but they're not bookkeepers.
We do it all, but we don't put it in the bookkeeping format. And we do it not in the way that they can pull out of the computer.
Like, for example, a question or a thing that, like, when we get grants in, right? When we get normal money in, it's easy, it goes into a revenue account or whatever. When we get grants in, and we don't know where they go and what they do, it messes the books up. Because we get all this money and we pay it out somewhere else, we never really bring it in right.
We got the DRI coming in for 2 million, and we got this one, we got,
So
we get,
bookkeeper people will tell us how to do that, so the books all look right.
we have 10, 15 grants. They're all over.
Which these girls here are trying to, but don't necessarily know how to do it correctly. Because they're not bookkeepers, they're just secretaries.
I'm not,
I mean, they do a lot for what they do, but they're not bookkeepers.
that's the other thing, we're getting so many grants, I think we're getting off the beam for what we do here, because this is gonna be going like a grant writing office. It's like, it takes hours and hours and hours from the regular stuff. Just sewer collection, all the other stuff.
Because up until, when did Candy was there? The village had a bookkeeper, like an actual
We had one for years.
position.
We haven't had it, we don't.
And then she retired and we never refilled it.
We tried a couple of tries, it didn't work too well.
Right. Like, we tried to fill the hole with Jan, but that's not really, because she's got her own stuff going on over there. Her own account.
I think this would be a good fit. I've met with them, I've taken them all our book stuff already. They've designated one guy that really would be our guy.
So,
He just seems like a nice gentleman. Not a hard charger. Just seems like a nice guy.
These companies are constantly finding, there are some other ones out there.
Well, what's nice about this contract too is we can decide in December that if it's not working, we can terminate them.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we found someone else to do it.
The other thing we did with this contract, it was longer, different stuff, and it was the real job. We said, we can do this, we'll take this piece out. You know. So they kind of mix and match the stuff that they do well with the stuff that they're weak on. So that's how they came up with, we'll still be doing like payroll.
I know Caitlin,
things like that, but-
Right, and this company would come in and done everything, but they come down and cut our checks and everything else.
I think we had that.
Straight up the
Yeah.
hills, turns into West.
It's just nice to have
Oh,
somebody that's
okay.
like a real go to it. You know.
I don't have paying attention, sorry, everything's slowing down. So, you said that these folks do a bunch of places around, so we have those recommendations or whatever. Does the 23-4 annually, how's that work for this year? Now, we can only start the 2nd of April and work for 9 months out. Is that?
So it's that rate, 1950 a month.
So we would prorate that for the number of months.
And it's not all general fund comes out of different funds.
Yeah, that is spread.
General, sewer fund, general fund,
Oh, yeah.
EMS, yada, yada.
Which Jan's fees are already.
And it might even be a savings.
Yeah.
better service, better transparency.
It's really fun.
And like Rodney said, Jan actually tried to hook us up with one of these companies, but then we had a whole presentation with them, they went through a whole Zoom thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were just gone.
There's not a lot
So Jan was just as we've done,
Well, that was the one thing I was gonna tell you.
and we have to have a replacement of some sort.
We were thinking of,
Like, so like, it's not annually, but we would just be paying the next 1950.
Right. For however many more, right?
We're not paying
The first year's only gonna be 9 months instead of 12 months, we're not gonna
Yeah.
pay 23, or that's generally what it is. We're gonna- I assume this means we're gonna pay 1950 for those 9 months.
Correct.
We're gonna pay less.
We'll pay 17,550. Yeah, for the first. Well, it's in the terms of payment, they send a monthly invoice.
Right.
They're not gonna send one for January, February, March, because they.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Like that's how it works even like
So
with
it
legal,
was-
like
I was-
these
we were looking on the
companies that
graphic
doesn't
and I
have
was like,
legal.
Yeah, absolutely.
thanks.
And like
And
they
it was like
they'll
the
send,
size.
they'll
it was
give
like
you
the size of
supposedly
the
nicer
villages.
reports, treasurer's reports, different things.
Yeah, they will help us with that because they know
And I was like,
Yeah.
more
this is,
what we want to
this is
see.
getting too weird about the climate.
And
stuff.
they know more about how to make
Because
reports.
I can't keep
Then,
that.
you know, the girls at B.
Like I said, they're willing to learn our software. These couple of other companies want us to buy a different software for $60,000.
We don't want us to do that next year, but that's another
No,
story.
but we almost did that for this one company. They we did do that. I think if we go with these guys, we'll be happy.
I'll motion that
There
we,
was.
come into an agreement with Statement Accounting LLC
No.
to do our bookkeeping
Conservation.
at this 1950 monthly rate.
We got a second on that?
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion on the bookkeeping? It's definitely very needed.
Very neat.
So, Russ,
It's kind of scary.
I wanted
to me.
one more piece before we do it.
I prefer that it was just-
And you've spoken with our staff about this, Robbie, and
Oh, yeah.
believe that this won't.
Thank you, Matt.
Other difficulties with them in facing these people.
No, they've been on a couple of times.
Okay.
And they've also, like I said, we had a full list of different things that they wanted. We kind of picked and choose the stuff that we were really good at, we thought, and stuff that we got, we said, because it would have been higher.
They had to do more.
Right, they give you like a menu basically.
We said, now we don't need this, we don't need that, okay, then we can cut this out.
Next to.
I didn't think it was too bad.
And they're paddling.
And still cheaper than hiring a bookkeeper
Really?
at
Yeah.
$45,000 a year plus benefits.
So,
Or more, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
So for the,
So
I'm
are these
almost
all
done, so for the sake of inconsistency,
They are.
I'm not going to
So
abstain
sometimes
from
it's
this.
hard.
We're not going to vote on this, it came before me today, and I'm opposed to doing that kind of thing. Thank you
Yeah,
for
we all
listening.
have, as far as the girls in the office, Rodney and me, we've met and talked to these people.
Okay.
This has been going around for a month or so, behind the scenes. Offline, as Rusty would say.
Well, that's how you do things, you know, you can't do it. Things you want to do.
Here, so we got a motion in a second, shall we vote? Rusty?
Yes,
Laura?
Gary?
yes.
And the.
Sure.
I didn't.
Yes.
That was,
The auditors will be very happy with this. Yeah. So we got it.
I wish I wasn't so pessimistic that everything that we try to do to save us time and money seems like it ends up not working the way we intended, but we can only try.
Payment of bills.
That's it.
But they're very hard to.
Get them?
To like apply.
Oh,
Like.
did everybody get the answer to the payment of bill question last time?
Taking every.
Oh, and remind me,
The farm,
Farm
radios?
Oh, no, I didn't see an answer about that.
Swamp.
well, actually, it's Mike.
Yeah, because if you
That's
can
Mike
get them
Rose's
in
side
there,
company that he
it
does.
was damaged.
Oh,
Good repairs for that.
He apparently repaired and installed or whatever some radios. That was the bill.
for the EMS or for the fire department?
Fire department.
Are those the radios that they needed? We're looking at again.
No.
No, okay, so that's still on the,
But that's what that bill was.
That's what the bill was from the farm.
It said like farm.
Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Farm shipping company. He repaired a bunch.
So anyway, we got new payment bills. Anybody with those?
Good, Mike.
Have any other questions? Yeah.
Well, we're.
This is the new report that we,
It's better. Yeah, look good.
you know, we're informative. This is the one we talked about last time, but has a little more detail. Anybody like to motion to pay the bills?
We'll pay the bills.
Second.
Any other discussion on the bills? Let's go, Rusty.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
And yes.
It doesn't do well here. I tried it.
And treasurer's report. What's in here? I did my thing.
I'll tell you one thing we did send it. Since we met last week, we did our bond. We paid $1
Well,
million
it's
for
flooded,
it, $3
so
million.
back home, it's fine.
Now we have a $2 million bond.
It's just.
Closing on that tonight, tomorrow. So it's gonna cost us, interest like $90,000, paid to borrow $2 million
Central Washington.
from the state. I will say the
Is
state.
this on top of what we did for the other 3 million, or
No,
this is total for everything?
This is $3 million, but now we got it down to $2 million because we've already paid down. The state did give us by almost 500,000. That part's good.
So that's on that.
The only one was for us. Kind of a good thing, is we're going on a couple fiscal years. Not to pay it back this year. When we do a budget, we'll have to figure that out.
So I did my thing, except I didn't send it out.
But we are working.
Yeah, I know you got the report, but you didn't get my, summary thing.
Oh.
But the other good thing is.
But I did it.
We are making interest on the money that.
So we borrowed the money, we're gonna owe 90 grand on interest to borrow it, but we're gonna make interest on the stuff that's in the bank for it. But still, we're talking about trying to get
We're
half
actually,
or
we're actually
two-thirds of
going
the back.
back to what we're borrowing.
So, Tuesday. Well, not really, kind of, green down here is good. This doesn't matter, but you can see, so our target is 60%. So we're pretty much on track. And we're in the green. This was, so we take our revenue we brought in minus the expenses we paid out. So overall, we're 51% spent. And our target 60. That's for the general fund. And the EMS fund. They're in the green, 82,000 up to this point. And the sewer always runs behind until the end, basically. So that's, you can look through the whole treasurer's report, but that's what it boils down to.
I move to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on it? Sherry?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
And yes. Now we got minutes.
You don't really
This is
know.
a February 3rd, we obviously didn't get last week.
Ooh, where?
So I motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd with the addition of my.
Second.
Further discussion? Rusty? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Sherry?
Abstain.
Charles? And yes. Trustee reports. He is not here. Rusty, no report.
Yeah.
Charles? Laura?
5 minutes.
All right, so, we received some unfortunate news today from the FEMA Brick EPA group that, everything's been paused, so they can't communicate with us and work with us, towards reaching our goals. So it's a tremendous loss, work, that we're losing because we had all those people, all the experts guiding us. So, we won't be able to work on the grants and so all the critical facilities scoping, it's now not gonna happen. So, everything that we were planning on building grants for and finding out information and building things for later, we just won't be able to do with that help anymore. And they did leave us a folder so that we can do this one grant, with all the information in it. So we're gonna, hope for the best with, submit what we've got and hope that things survive. And then, for something different, a state grant, that's where we're gonna be meeting Monday, and we're gonna start talking about the solar array, getting RFPs out for putting solar on the building next door. And, our landscaping equipment has arrived and it's here.
So it's paid for?
The invoice is here and they've already asked me questions today about how it was getting paid out of the grants, and I helped them with that because we've already received the money. Some of the money from the grant. Yeah.
I don't care if we pay them, we can't pay anyone.
Yeah, so we can pay, the fines, and then we'll also, get some more money in.
Get the rest of it.
Yeah, well, we can get 40% of the money ahead of time, so we're gonna do that process, for the car. And so we'll get a little bit more money and do the car, and then we get reimbursed, for anything over, and then we'll do the same thing for the solar array.
Yeah, the car was the paper. WPL, make sure to tell everybody.
So we had to do this public process, to show that we had a need, and so now that it's been in the paper for the required amount of time, now, and we didn't get any responses, now we can go and get a car, from a dealership at whatever lowest price that we're able to find. So.
Actually, Matthew, well, service, we'd be interested. You wanna contact them too, but they also have the state contact.
Was there a problem with insurance or companies?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask that. So WPO put on Facebook. Facebook is what it is. But our, I don't know how to say his last name, Tri-Town Insurance did chime in with like a legit comment that Kias and Hyundais are almost uninsurable now for some reason. Because they get stolen and they're apparently, very much linked to organized crime. And then somebody else contacted me,
It's still there.
actually,
Yeah.
old fire chief's wife,
Yes.
said, oh yeah. She knows somebody who had a Kia Soul and their insurance went to like $700 a month. So, do we wanna look at that and revise it?
Yeah, I think we should look into that.
Well,
I mean, it's a legit
I mean, that's where
thing.
Seems like legit, I don't know why.
Is that what we're getting? We were getting that.
Hyundai.
Hyundai Ioniq 5. So the Blazer had all these, recall things for electronic issues and stuff like that, so we switched away from that, and we also, so this Ioniq, cost me less than it also has a 10-year lease.
Look into the insurance aspect of
Right.
that.
I'm just thinking we may wanna call our insurance guy and say,
Yeah, look into that. That's probably why it's.
The average cost to insure Hyundai Ioniq 5 can range from $38 to $41 per month, depending on the model year and other factors.
like, I know we have another.
Well,
I mean, I don't.
we sort of get it great anyhow.
Right.
Put something to ask our guy before we buy this.
Yeah, it's-
I mean, we're not in Chicago or San Francisco where people are coming around pulling out the cars either.
No, but this was some people locally that said that their insurance companies.
Yeah, well, maybe they drive through the canal. So.
This doesn't have a catalytic converter to.
Right, there's no catalytic
You
converter.
know, yeah, it doesn't have the components that people are stealing off of the other cars. Like I know,
That's how it's got a battery.
yeah, I know like Honda, and like there's a lot of cars that are more stolen and stuff. Wasn't actually on that list. That's on.
We can park it inside.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Put a double door.
We're gonna park it inside.
Yeah.
The fire department, the sewer department got their new truck. That's how they.
The Jeep.
Jeep or truck.
Yeah, it's like a Jeep truck.
You mean a pickup back.
Right.
Surprised we didn't get the Volkswagen Betty.
That'll be coming soon.
Yeah, that new, they got that new Volkswagen.
Works on
Yeah,
it.
we did that. That was-
So the car's moving, but let's check the insurance just to make sure. We don't get this car and then it's like,
Yeah, just
$6 grand a year to insure.
thanks for the information and the research on that.
All the other comments were whatever, but the
Yeah,
insurance
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
we
Look
looked
out
at it.
with some, yeah.
Speaking of truck, we did check on the fire station. The fair board wanted to know about the grandstand and the.
Oh, yes. We're double insured.
No, not really.
Right.
They're on our property.
They're on our property, but they weren't on our policy.
Right, we're not insured at all.
'Cause I
What
saw
grandstand
the
we got? The one that they said is deteriorating in front of our grandstand, or the one that they
little
built
one.
on the
The
one
little
on
one,
the side?
They built a brand new one.
The
The one they built on the Rodeo?
Yeah. And the tower, the announcing tower.
That's not on
We
our
insure
list.
both of them. They want to make sure that we weren't double insured. If something happened, we would get the money. So we're not insured.
Right, they're not on our policy.
So I saw their message back and they said that we're not. And then they had a question about the steamer house. So I pulled our old agreement.
Why would the fair board have a question about that?
Well, our insurance company wanted to know who's insuring that steamer house that's just built. And so I looked and, the host team agreed to insure it at whatever price, whatever coverage we want on it. So we can contact them to ask them to get their insurance.
And maybe they already are, but
They probably, we'll check.
we'll make sure.
Yeah.
The host team owns that structure, that'd be up to them on what they want to do about insurance. The things inside are owned by the village.
Right.
And that would be a different story, the two things inside, but the structure itself is, it's theirs.
Right.
Yeah, we're not insured. Just like we're not insuring the training center.
We are not.
But we could ask them to have like some base coverage or something.
But on our-
Because-
On our Marvin Park insurance, it doesn't list, like it lists the playground, it lists all the skate park, it doesn't list the grandstand. It lists the grandstand, it doesn't list the other grandstand. And it doesn't list the announcers, which is what they were asking about.
But that's what they want to know. That's what I'm, not on a policy, we're not insured.
I still need access to the camera.
Yeah, I don't have it either. So I usually have it.
I went through the Flood of 11 paperwork, and I saw our insurance statements for all the loss that we had. You know, we lost so much, like all the little tiny buildings and stuff like that that were insured. That list, and then the stuff that wasn't.
Into an emulsion, so I could.
I'll go to one.
To fix what we had, to bring it back after the flood.
And a lot of that was stuff that, let's say you're going to fix this type of, a lot of that was freezing. Utilities and furnace things. Now, like next door, the CPW garage, it's all up in the mezzanine now.
There you go.
Not
Yes,
really
something like
flooded,
that, but they do programs. I think we're
Flood savvy.
Right. Should be, flooding it, it should be a little less this time around. In theory.
So
if we do 2011 again, we won't have to worry about it.
Actually.
Because everybody pack up and be gone. I mean, everybody will pack up and be gone. Where would we go?
Your options aren't good.
And I think it's in my house.
Open the mouth.
Go somewhere else.
There's no room up there.
You'll make-
We'll call the 2x4 lady, and tell her we need 19 acres developed because we need to place up there.
Right, you gotta put everybody up there. All right, we were on Laura's. Trustee,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Terry,
The OHC meeting on 2/6, we had an application from Pathways for a sign that went without problem. We talked about tiger trails, there was so much that's changed. I attended an invasive species class, just trying to get some better ideas on, for plants, particularly on different things that we talked about, the pit on them, things like that. So, 2/6, I've done some DRI meetings and a break meeting. So, actually didn't make kind of happen, but I like some of these young people that are working for VDOT now, they're doing that. Well, that's exactly, for me, it was kind of, I felt really bad for them because I thought, she just, like,
yeah, I don't know what's
this was
going
the
on.
time, yeah.
Way out of our.
Yep, absolutely.
The land bank needs to get a hold of OHBC. I gave them Evie's number.
Okay, good. Yeah, actually, she sent out,
If they can't get a hold of her, you might hear from Sarah.
okay.
It's about the building that they're redoing on.
81 North,
North Ave.
81 North, okay, oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah, no, the inside that building is coming along nice.
Yes,
So they can't do the outside yet because they're locked up in the same deal as we are with nice signal let them do the front of the building. So the outside looks like crap.
How do they have a building permit to do the stuff on the inside? Okay.
That would be a question for us. Department of Public Works.
I know they've been to HPC a bunch of times.
yes, they have. They have. With NICEAG, do we have any dates on when they're going to work so that the firehouse can start?
Yes. I'll get to that, but yes. So they want to do the work.
I probably grabbed this one.
They said you finished up.
Right. We want to start the roof in April.
All right, so that NICEAG has
Yeah, they
clarified that.
well, I won't say they committed, but they said that they're coming.
Okay.
Good as you put in that.
Right, it really does seem imperative that that roof starts, so.
Rodney just gave me a thing. I don't want to get in the middle of your thing here, but hopefully everybody got one, but it's a report from the code enforcement. Activities, because I didn't get this in my email.
I got one here. I don't know, but I didn't make that before.
It might be in the email, it might be my boxes.
I should probably just give you my home.
I'll give you, I need this back, but you can take a quick look at it.
Well, no, my home, Gmail.
See about
No,
4 buildings.
that's great.
If they offer something. But it's just.
So you guys good with that? I got.
You got one for me?
So anyway, this is good. We're getting something which we've asked for a long time.
So, yeah, send me an email.
Yeah, there's actually the OHBC meeting on March 6th, an application review, for 81 North, so they are coming, so they really want that. So that's great.
It was like today.
I was gonna.
That's perfect, well, she's got it, then I know.
Has it worked?
Thank you, that's all I have.
Yeah.
So OHBC note needs to remember that 81 North is the linchpin. Be careful, OHBC, because last time in 81 North, you got disbanded.
Oh, really?
That was the deal.
That guy was not, but it's like, my God. So, And yes, I'm on camera, it's okay. Lead poisoning is a real
It's
thing.
bad. Charles,
Sorry, Mike. Interrupted you. Interrupted you.
no, nothing, bring it down to me. That's my update.
Well, there's a lot of.
Been busy, had some land bank meetings. I am the treasurer again.
Lucky you.
Don't ask me about anything going on there, because I probably don't know.
I know, it's so weird.
A roof hopefully will start in April. Fire station. We do have a little bit of a hiccup there.
We got the hazmat people.
Sisters of Providence.
Yes.
That's the hiccup. So the hiccup is there are dead pigeons in the tower, along with pigeon crash in the tower. The roofing company will not come to
I
the
always
roof,
tell
because the
people,
first thing
no.
is the tower. Stabilizing the internals of the tower, so it has to be cleaned up. So we bid it out, thinking, we thought from other estimates, and like 81 North, which is next door, which had the same pigeon in it, that it would be about 20 grand to clean up the pigeons. And one company bid on it. So we bid it out and we thought it was about 20 grand, we could probably cover it with contingencies and whatever. Out of the DRS. So one company bid on it.
It's very easy. We're doing it this way and we're not.
5,000?
That's exactly what I need. It's like, I
And
need supervision.
like the state.
Yes.
They don't want to pay us.
65,000 to clean the pigeons.
What do they expect from us?
But we can't do the roof until we clean up these pigeons. So my fear is that ice thing is done and they want to come do it. And the pigeons are
Well, unless we do something.
like, we've tried to call other companies.
Are you getting the bids? Are you like sending the pictures or like what are you saying about the stakes?
Well, so that's what I don't know, because right now, up until now, like Hunt is on the bid thing. So I'm wondering if we don't want Fred to just take this on and say, go get us bids, like outside of everything. Just like through our normal process. To see if we get better bids.
How definitive is Julie on what the state will do or not do?
They don't care about that, they just are not into, like, A, there's no extra money, well, we take it from somewhere else. Which is hard to do because the budget amendment just went through,
Right.
like, yesterday.
Okay.
So, that's the, I mean, there's really no extra money anywhere, not that much extra money.
I wish we could just get some brave souls, we get some duct tape and plastic bags and outfit ourselves with some SCBA's and go in there and.
Well, we can condone that, but we do have a fire department that has that stuff.
I know.
I think the mayor can order the clerk.
I think that's been done before.
That's what we've done that.
Last time we did that, the FBI showed up. Guys had dark shoes on.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Men in black.
Yep. I went to talk to Mr. Tillbaugh. He said, yep.
Should've gone back.
Martin's up in Cooperstown, he's not nearby, it's okay.
They were, I guess, if we do that.
I know how to do that.
That was
So-
a good thing.
That is gonna be an issue coming up, big issue. I don't know how we handle it.
What's this company that cleans up after the floods?
Surpro?
No, they did most of the building stuff. They haven't done.
Oh, the H2O place.
No, yeah, but there was a big company. They came in with hazmat suits and big fans and they cleaned up everything. What's that?
Was it through Aurora?
So we got, so that's where we got the $20,000 number from, but they don't do cleanup. They'll do like the air sampling. But they thought it would be about 20,000. And somehow the bid came in at like 65.
What if we found out a way to enter the building and clean out the, stuff like, just like doing like a, flood removal or something like that, just sort of clean some stuff out and then got new bids after we did that about, if we could have that cleanup price be lower.
Were you just listening to this, been there, done that, got in trouble?
We can't say to do that legally. OSHA will not like.
Yeah,
Been there, did that, got in big trouble. From DEC,
Yeah.
28 years ago.
Gosh,
Pesh, oh, we don't want them.
they were eating the illegal kitchen today,
Oh, yeah.
just so you know.
Don't we do anything weird.
No, it was a good place to eat.
So that's gonna be an issue. So right now we got one bid from Sunstream that's like 65,000.
So we have to try to get a lower bid.
We need to get a lower bid.
And
I don't know from who though, because there's not a lot of companies that do that.
so I know this is stupid, but we originally kept $1.50 for art, and then we found 69 more to go with it to get to 219. And I know you just said other amendments, this or that. Can we move 69 out of it and bring it back to $1.50?
So that's a Julie question. And we can ask her.
She's not gonna
That's-
have you
She's
know.
not gonna like it.
Well, I know, but we don't have a lot of choices, so we need to find out if that is one of the choices we would have.
The
We'll
other,
find out.
the other option is to look through our accounts and see, do we have money in a reserve account or something that we can cover it? And that's what the roof cost us.
You know,
Not a good solution, but
Who knew that pigeon coop could be that expensive?
if it's the price we gotta pay for a $500,000 roof, it's not much really.
it's a shame it's not that one that you can sell.
I know, right?
Money,
Yeah.
big money on that.
But it kinda sucks. And it's, the problem is getting worse the longer we don't clean it up.
Yeah,
But you don't wanna clean it up and then not have them come do it, because then it'll be back again.
it's almost pigeon season.
Are all the windows and things sealed?
No, that's the project.
So this isn't just to clean it out, this is to seal the holes and.
No, this is to clean it out.
Just to clean it out.
Clean
The
it out.
roof project seals the holes.
Right.
They won't come do that until it's cleaned
So it's
out.
cleaned out.
But there's no like missing windows or anything like with
The
the
tower
tower?
doesn't have windows, it has all kinds of ways in.
Yeah. So
Louvers, things are, yeah, all kinds of.
so what's covered on the DRI, right? We can't restore the outside of the tower, but we're making it watertight for the leak. Or pigeons make it.
Okay.
We can, yeah, we can make this.
But they won't come do that until it's cleaned out.
So Mike is
And we thought
as
maybe,
painful as it is, we probably should check with Julie and the state.
and we
Well-
thought maybe the price we got from Sunstream was for the tower and the room below it.
Yeah.
No, it's just for the tower.
I think Fred is a good resource to ask
Yeah.
if he has other ideas of people to go to.
Right. Companies
he-
are,
Yeah, he may have somebody, and I think we need to ask Fred.
I think we need to somehow get more bids, because we only got
Yes.
one bid, and it seems wicked high.
Yeah.
Even compared to being on the land bank, I know 81 North Ave was full of
Yeah.
pigeon stuff, like in the whole building. And they cleaned that out and demoed it for less than the bid we got.
Yeah.
So we just have to.
So I wonder who did their demo? They
Sunstream.
would come in and do. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Which makes me wonder about,
Hmm.
I know it's, the company's named Belfort.
okay,
They're a big company that does that.
well, this is something we gotta get on, or get Fred to get on,
We gotta get on this because we gotta have this
Because the roof's
ready to
down.
go 1st of April-ish.
right?
NICEAG was holding us up, they don't want us to hold us up.
Right. So that's my big thing ahead tonight.
There we go.
Nothing I wanna bring up. It is what it is.
Moving on.
All right, last thing, public comment.
Oh, you're still here?
Yeah.
I had a great conversation with Heather.
That was good. We wanted you guys to do that with
To
each other.
leave you alone?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna
We'd still be,
talk
we'd still be on public comment if that was
This is
gonna
not
be
getting any
public
phone
comment.
calls next summer.
Did you have anything more for us, you all set?
No.
Well, you adjourn.
So it is written. So it's written.
Before 9 o'clock, set the record.
Can't be. Something's wrong here.
See you, mate.
Good night, everyone.